Shalikonath Mishra characterizes the Bhatto-Mimamsa theory of sentence meaning as Bhavana Vakyartha Vada. The Bhatto-Mimamsakas define a Bhavana as Bhavitur Bhavananukulo Bhavaitur Vyaparo Vishesha Bhavana. A Bhavana is a dispositional property of an agent or an imperative statement which induces another person to act in a certain manner to bring about a certain effect. Bhavana can be of two types, Shaddhi Bhavana and Arthi Bhavana. Shaddhi Bhavana is defined as Odhikari Purusha Prayatnanukulo Bhavaitur Vyaparo Vishesha Shaddhi Bhavana. Shaddhi Bhavana is the property of an imperative statement or a Vedic injunction which brings about a volitional state of an agent that leads to a certain action. Shaddhi Bhavana thus resides in an imperative statement. A Vedic injunction is also an imperative statement. So, Shaddhi Bhavana resides in a Vedic injunction. This property of a Vedic injunction or an imperative statement brings about a volitional state in an agent, and this volitional state leads to a particular action. Arthi Bhavana is defined as Prayojanecha Janito Kriya Vishayaka Purusha Prayatna Rupo Vyaparo Vishesha Arthi Bhavana. That is, an Arthi Bhavana is a volitional state which is produced by a desire to attain a particular end and which leads to a particular action. A Shaddhi Bhavana thus resides in the imperative statement or in the Vedic injunction. It is a property of Shabda, and this Shaddhi Bhavana brings about a volitional state in an agent, and this volitional state or Purusha Prayatna is called Arthi Bhavana. Now, on the Bhatto-Mimamsa view, the meaning of an imperative statement or a Vedic injunction is a Shaddhi Bhavana, and this Shaddhi Bhavana is conveyed by the ling case ending. Since the meaning of the imperative is conveyed by the ling case ending, the Bhatto-Mimamsakas also identify a sentence with the Akhyata or the case ending. They also define a sentence as Akhyata Shabda. I have already remarked that both the Prabhakara Mimamsakas and the Bhatto-Mimamsakas define a sentence as Akhyata Shabda. But on the Prabhakara Mimamsa view, the Akhyata or the ling case ending communicates or conveys an Apurva, whereas on the Bhatto-Mimamsa view, the ling case ending or the Akhyata communicates a Shaddhi Bhavana. The difference between the Prabhakara Mimamsa and the Bhatto-Mimamsa theory of sentence meaning becomes clearer when we consider the responses of these two schools to the second major problem referred to by me at the beginning of these lectures. The second major issue is how do we understand the meaning of a sentence? The Bhattu Mimamsa answer to this question is a direct legacy of Sabara Swami's account of sentence meaning. Sabara Swami writes while commenting upon the Mimamsa aphorism 11725, Padani hi swam swam artham abhidhayo nivritta vyaparani अथो इदानीं पदार्था अवगता संत वाक्यार्थं गमयन्ति. This means that every individual word constituting a sentence ceases functioning after denoting its individual meaning. These meanings then somehow combine or get connected to present the meaning of the sentence. The Bhattu Mimamsakas also believe that every individual word or subsentential expression cease to function once they have denoted their own individual meanings. These individual meanings then combine in accordance with the principles of akanksha or mutual expectancy, yogata or mutual compatibility, sannidhi or contiguity to communicate the meaning of the entire sentence. Thus, the meaning of the sentence is not communicated by the meaning of by any individual word. In fact, the meaning of the sentence is communicated by the meanings of the words and not by any word. Since the meaning of a sentence is not communicated by any word, the meaning of a sentence cannot be considered as the ortho of a pado or as a padartho. That is why the Bhattu Mimamsakas consider the meaning of a sentence as an apadartho, as a lakshya. The term lakshya here doesn't mean that the meaning of a sentence is the secondary meaning of a word. I have already mentioned that the meaning of a sentence is not the meaning of any word, so it cannot also be the secondary meaning of a word. It is called lakshya because just as the secondary meaning of a word is related to the primary meanings of the word, the meaning of a sentence also is related to the primary meanings of the constituent words of a sentence, and the meaning of a sentence is conveyed by these meanings of the individual words. The Bhattu Mimamsa criticizes the Prabhakara theory of sentence meaning on several grounds. The Bhattu Mimamsakas argue that the Prabhakara Mimamsa theory of sentence meaning cannot account for certain features of a natural language. These features cannot be denied by any philosopher who reflect upon the phenomenon of language. In any natural language, it is seen that the competent user of the natural language understands the meaning of a new sentence on the basis of his prior understanding of the meanings of the words which constitute that sentence. In fact, any competent user of a natural language has the capability to understand and generate an infinite number of new sentences on the basis of his prior understanding of the meanings of component expressions or the words of a language. Now, since the prior understanding or the prior knowledge of any competent user can only comprise knowledge of the meanings of a finite number of words, it must be admitted by any philosopher of language that a competent user of a natural language has the capacity to understand and to generate an infinite number of new sentences on the basis of his prior knowledge of the meanings of a finite number of words. So, it must be admitted that the user of any natural language first acquires the meanings of a finite number of words, and on the basis of his knowledge of the meanings of these finite number of words, he is capable of generating and understanding the meanings of an infinite number of new sentences. Thus, every word must communicate its own meaning first in isolation from the meanings of other words, then on understanding the meanings of the component expressions of a sentence, the user understands the meaning of the entire sentence. Thus, the words do not have or cannot have the power to communicate the meaning of a new sentence. The meanings of the words were learnt beforehand by the competent user. Now, the competent user cannot learn beforehand the meaning of a new sentence, for the meaning of the new sentence is understood when the user understands the connection that obtains among the constituent expressions of the sentence. Now, this connection is something new in case of every new sentence. So, this connection cannot be learned beforehand. When the user learns the meanings of the words, since the connection in case of a new sentence is something new and cannot be learnt beforehand, so this connection cannot be communicated by any individual word. An individual word can communicate only that meaning which has been learnt earlier by the user of the language when the user learns or acquires the meaning of the word. Since the connection conveyed by the sentence is something new, it cannot be learnt beforehand when the user learnt the meanings of the individual words. Since this connection was not learned when the meanings of the individual words were learned, the individual words themselves cannot communicate this connection. So this connection must somehow be conveyed by the meanings or the denotations of the words. Since the meaning of a sentence is communicated by the meanings or the denotations of the words, the Bhattamimamsa theory of sentence meaning is known as Abhihitanayavada, or they maintain that the meaning of a sentence is understood when the hearer of a sentence has been able to relate the meanings which were abhihita or denoted by the individual words. So here the sentence meaning is learned when one has been able to relate what has been denoted. So this is called the theory of relating the denoted.